Right, well, you know how sometimes we buy fruit juice and convert it into cider or wine? Well, I managed to do a little clear up job at work and got hold of all this. Just a wee bit. I've got some tropical fruit, pineapple, 3 cases of grapefruit, passion fruit, pear, banana, tomato. Oh, some more peach, apricot, strawberry, ace, which is a mixture of lemon, orange and carrot. Now, I think from last time I done one of these, I done red grape juice and made a nice little red wine. And I think it took about a case of these to fill a demi-john up, because they're only 20ml. But it came out quite good, so we could, I don't know, what we can knock up here. A banana wine, maybe a pear puree, cider, passion fruit wine, grapefruit wine, and a tomato wine. Anyone done a tomato wine before? Could be interesting, or disgusting. And we've got a box of free beer over there as well. And today we will mostly be bottling the bloody wine. Well, it's nearly dusk, so excuse the low light. Poor light, crap light. One doesn't work up there. But we're on the wine, finally. Yesterday I put in the last of the 2 finings and transferred it over. Let it clear out today, so hopefully it's all cleared and ready to go in all those bottles. And here is some rice wine. Name is Sake, but this one's made in Korea. Strange taste. Not the best one in the world, I've got to say. I think this one will be better. But time for Titanic's iceberg. I'll do a little brew while whiling away the hours. This one is a combination of Marisota pale malt and fine wheat malt. Gives a refreshing beer zest. This fantastic wheat beer is a formidable opponent to passing thirst. Frederick Fleet, the lookout on the Titanic, was the first to spot the iceberg at 11:35 p.m. The iceberg was not seen earlier, as the lookout's binoculars had been left behind in Southampton. Founded in 1985 and based in Stoke-on-Trent, the Titanic Brewery is named in honour of the infamous ship whose captain, Edward Smith, hailed from the Potteries. Our beer is now available in 253 houses in the UK and Norfolk's Kitchen. It's quite chilled down. ABV wise, 4.1%. It's quite pale. There is a slight haze to it, although it has been in the fridge, but obviously there is some wheat in it, so it's not going to be crystal. I'll bore you with that. Whoops. Now, English straight. I'll try and take the top off carefully because I'm saving tops at the minute to try and make a border with all the beers that I've drunk. Obviously the ones that have gone to the extra mile and printed something on the top. It's been another warm English summer day. Oh, it smells nice and hoppy. Just what the doctor ordered, and if he didn't order it, I did. Definitely a little zest, zing to it from the hop. Just the ticket. Right, well, let's show you some bottling equipment. Most people say, oh, I won't bore you with all the bottling because there's loads of videos on it, and actually we all say that and don't actually do a video on it. But this one, if I release the camera, well, excuse the flare, that's from the little light to try and improve the videography. But as you can see, this one's got a tap. This is one of my set of buckets that came with the kit originally, but I normally use them for beer. But this is just the transfer over from the primary fermenter to, not a secondary fermenter, but you transfer it across a number of times in an attempt to get rid of the gas, the CO2 that's still sitting in it from fermentation, because obviously wine isn't normally fizzy unless you're after a sparkling wine, in which case you just do it like we do bottle conditioned beer, and you have to put up with a little bit of sediment at the bottom of the bottle. But we're not going for that, we're going for still white wine. And in my jug sterilising is a little gadget that some of you are familiar with and some won't be, which is a bottling wand, which, if this focuses, has just got a little, basically a non-return valve. When that centre pin is depressed, the fluid runs out, which you might see there. And basically, when you release it from the bottom of the bottle, it stops the flow. The displacement of the wand in the bottle leaves you enough headspace for capping or corking, depending on what you're using it for. And there's a little adapter that just goes on the end, and I fit a bit of rubber or a bit of PVC hose to that, which then connects to the bucket. And over here, some of you are also familiar with this piece of equipment, which is a bottling tree or draining tree, whatever you want to call it, and the vinator at the top, which is just basically pump action under there. Once it fills up with the solution, which is Starsan, jets up into the bottle, sterilises the bottle, dip the neck of the bottle in the fluid, then pop it on one of these hooks to drain down into the tray. Now I've got a combination of screw cap and cork bottles to use. Most of the threads are the same on the bottles, but some do differ. So I'll probably do those first and then we'll go on to the corking bit. But I'll set the bottling wand up now and just cut to that. Okay, so what we've got is just a tap, a little clear PVC hose, then a reducer and a wand. So that's it. And then just the business end down there, I'll just give it another squirt and we'll start a bottle. Okay, so I'll show you the bottle steriliser first. Nice easy one of the corking jobs. You just need to prime the pump first, so it just takes two. Get it up to pressure and get it all primed. You don't have to keep doing it like that on every bottle. You just dip the end in and then just pop it on one of the hooks. Obviously keep them going around in an even spacing so you don't end up with it toppled over. Pop the cap in there, drain the tap water out. Some of these bottles is the first time I've used them. So they've been soaked in a barrel of water outside to get the labels off and just loosen up any mould. And then I just use a normal washing up bowl, one of the larger ones, which I keep specifically just for homebrew. And then just dunk them in that with some warm water and give them a brush out. Let them drain. And then go through with the sterilising method. So it's pretty simple with this equipment. Obviously with something like this you could make up out of a piece of 2x4, make like a bird table type frame base and just use wood screws, and then put a little bit of PVC pipe over them just to protect them from chipping the bottles. or something along that lines. So you get the jet, it will hit the top of the bottle, or the bottom of the bottle as it is, washes down the side and sterilises the whole bottle. 2 or 3 pumps is usually adequate, and that's it. And basically you just build your supply bottles up and get ready to bottle. It's a lot easier now I've got a stool. So basically, I don't know how much the camera will pick up, but once the bottom of your bottle hits the wand, it opens the valve and fills it fairly quickly. It's not too laborious a job. You just have to watch it as it gets up to the neck, and the speed increases, but you can just reduce the valve slightly by releasing the pressure off the neck of the filler. Oops, one for the dogs. Any trouble with the aluminium caps around the side there, you can't see when it's about to blow over, but that's it. And just screw the cap on. That's it. Looks fairly clear. A little bit of haze off the bottle. That's it. I won't bore you with hundreds of them. Well, we're almost there. Just wanted to cover the corking side of it for those of you that haven't done wine yet. If you haven't got the corking machine, you can buy these little plastic caps, which are good for a limited number of uses until the little ribs wear out and they don't give a strong enough seal. You can literally just push them in. If I can do it on the worktop of the oven. Like so. Make sure it's all the way home. Like that. But obviously you can use conventional corks if you've got a little hand corking machine. I've got one of those, but I don't use that anymore because I've got this. Well, hopefully it isn't too dark to see this, but this is what's called a floor corker. So the bottle goes in the bottom on the plate. Underneath there, cork goes in there. It's compressed by the action of the lever, which pushes it down, but it's easier if I show you. Pop the cork in there. Bottle under here. And make sure it's in there. Oh, I haven't used it for a while. As you push down, these blocks come in and compress the rubber. And your little bolt there just pushes the cork down into the bottle. Does need adjusting, but I haven't got my pliers, but pushes it down far enough. Which makes it a nice, pleasant, easy, simple operation. Then messing about all those hand corking machines. You should be able to pick one of these up second hand for less than 20 quid. Oops, not that one right. Some corks they tell you not to soak because they've got a silicone coating on them. These are Wilco's corks. I had a problem with these last time, I think, where they tend to split when you're extracting them, so I'm only doing some of the bottles with those and some of the bottles with these tapered end corks, which I think are better quality. As you can see, It goes a whole lot quicker. Than messing about with 3 litre corkers. One final little thing I didn't include for the corked type wine bottles. As you probably know, you can buy these little shrink wrap sleeves just to fit over to give them the more commercial look, professional finish, which you just use over your kettle. Not going to bother because pretty much they're all for me anyway, so, or the wife. There'll be a few dished out samplers, but I'll leave them for another one. And this is empty as well now. So that's it for the Cantina Pinot Grigio wine kit. Last thing to do with it will be to try a little taster of it, which I'll probably do in a forthcoming Homebrew Wednesday. But we was just working out, I think I looked on the internet, the dearest I could find a kit was round about £35. Cheapest is about 10 quid less than that, 24.95, something like that. So there can be about 10 quid difference in that kit. The cheapest we could find the bottle of wine online was £5 for Pinot Grigio. I got 27 bottles out of it. One's a little bit iffy because it's got the last of the sediment in it. It might clear out okay, but if you say 27 bottles, 105 quid a bottle, 135 quid if my maths is right, or the wife's is, I've been drinking. So basically you can save yourself around about 100 quid by doing it yourself. So although it takes a little bit of effort and time just to wash the bottles and cork them up, pretty much everything else is just chuck it in and let the yeasties do the work for you. So that's it for this Homebrew Wednesday. Not too much else going on really, so we'll catch you in next week's with whatever I may be doing, which will probably be the SJ Paul beer bottling. That's the next one on the cards. I've got to dig out the bottles tomorrow night. Time is cracking on now. It's gone up as 10 at night on Monday. It's about the only time I can try and fit things in now. The weekend was too hot to do anything. I didn't have any brews planned, so you know the temperatures in the UK at the minute are a little bit erratic. They're sort of 27 to 32 degrees, even on a cloudy day. The sort of temperature is built up, even if we get these heavy downpours of rain. Temperatures hasn't dropped much, so hopefully it hasn't affected my raspberry wheat beer, or well, not in a bad way anyway. So hopefully in the next few days I'll be getting that bottled up, and we'll catch you on next week's ones. So keep your glass half full and not empty like mine. Time to put the kettle on now anyway. See you next week.